What's up guys, I'm here with another video. Welcome to episode 144 of Let's Build the City. Today we're building a car dealership. Let's build a car dealership. Hello G-Cat the Gamer, welcome to live stream.
What's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make your very own modern car dealership. And not only will I show you how to make the entire outside of your car dealership, but I will also show you how to make the entire inside as well for all of your city building needs. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please do remember to subscribe to the channel and click the little bell next to the subscription button. That'll ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. And I do want to point out that this is a multi-part tutorial. In this video, I will be showing you how to make the entire outside. In the next part, I'll be showing you how to make the inside and also all of the cars surrounding it. Showing you how to make this bad boy, which I'm really happy with. So check all of that out in the card system description below, at the top of the comment section. I'll make it dead easy for you to find everything associated with this car dealership. But without any further ado, let's get started. Now, just before we get building, everybody, here are all of the materials. To make our very own car dealership. Please do make sure that you have access to all those materials and enough of them as well. The amount of space required is a surprisingly massive 51 by 55 block area as represented by the white concrete grid on the ground. So please do make sure that you have enough room to make this. I'd highly consider making the grid if you are slotting this into a city or somewhere in your world and you've got a lot of stuff around. It'll just help you out, trust me. And that's it. Pause the video if you have to. Do make sure that you got that stuff. Make sure you've got enough room to make it. Make sure you're ready to have an awesome modern car dealership. And once you're ready, we can begin. Step 1, car builders. Come all the way over to the front right hand corner of your grid. If you've made it, we're going to count backwards from this corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're then going to count left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now we are both building in the same place inside of our grid. On top of this block, I want you to place 5 white concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Extend the 5th concrete towards you. And then to the left by 16. 1, 2,
16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're then going to go up by 4. 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
3, 4. And then we are going to extend all the way over to the right. This might take a second. And we're going to join down. So we want to have something which should look exactly like this. And we're going to take the left and right sides and we are going to add a vertical row of white concrete in there. So now that we have this wonderful shape, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do is add another layer of white concrete directly behind this shape. So we're going to take every single one of the blocks and we are going to add yet another layer of white concrete. And then what we want to do is kind of tricky, but we want to place blue concrete directly behind all of this empty space. So you should have not one, not two, but 3 rows of blue concrete directly behind all of that empty space that you have now created. If there aren't 3 rows, this went terribly wrong. What we now want to do is grab our yellow concrete, and on the inside of the right side of the sign that we have now made, we want to leave a gap of 1, and then place 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow concretes like this, and you want to double up on them. The end result should look exactly like that, and honestly, that looks pretty good. So, now that we have done that, we can take the left-hand side of this sign that we have created, we can join the back left-hand corner of the white concrete down to the ground, so that we kind of have like the same thing on the left of mine. We want to add another row of white concrete inside of both of these vertical rows of white concrete like this. On the right side here, we'll work from the right side and we'll kind of go left. Oddly enough, it's usually the other way around. But anyway, we are going to extend these white concretes here backwards, just 1 row that we have here on the right side. So we're kind of making somewhat of a pillar shape. And we want to add a row of light grey concrete directly behind the left-hand corner of the pillar, kind of like this. So we've kind of got a gradient effect. Once we've done that, on the ground, we want to mark out 2 rows of glass that are going to go left. 1, 2. I then want you to mark out a blue concrete that is going to go left, and add another one. Then 2 glass, 1, 2, and then light grey. We're then going to have a glass, a gap, glass, light grey, and then we're going to have 2 glass, 1, 2, and then behind this pillar here on the opposite side, we'll add the same white concrete that we have on the opposite side, and we'll add the vertical row of light grey. So from the outside looking in, we get this effect. I guess it's kind of complicated to explain, but hopefully it's a lot easier to see why we have done the things that we have done. Now that we have done them, we are going
Hello, Lord. Welcome to live stream.
We're going to extend them upwards by 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. We're going to extend the blue concrete all the way to the top. So what I mean by the top is, from the outside, you can't see it anymore. So like it goes up. For all you know, that blue concrete could go up and up and up and you can't see it. It just wants to hit like the top of this like virtual, this empty space. We're going to take the blue and we're going to extend it over to the left like so, and it's going to hit the wall. So we kind of get this like very modern shape. And then to make it even more modern, we're going to take all of the blue and we're going to extend it forwards like this. So it's going to fill in some of the gap like this, and it's also going to create depth, which is a massive part of this build. You can extend all of the other glass upwards, so the glass can be, I mean, just exactly what I said, just extend it up. It will connect at some point, except this right side here, it won't connect to anything, but that's okay. We can add like, we can add something for it to grip onto. And you'll end up with this, which is a very cool, very modern, very creepy sort of, it kind of reminds me of something, I don't know what it is, maybe like a robot or something. We want to have something which should look like this. And on the inside, I would highly recommend just adding something above the glass. It doesn't really matter what, either some light grey or some white. In part 2, we'll be cleaning everything up anyway, so it's not a big deal. We just want to have something which should look like this. The main entrance is here, so where we actually have the gap so that we can walk in, you want to extend the middle glasses on the left and right forwards using some oak fence. It kind of looks like those doors that you kind of like pull and grip and you don't know whether you're supposed to push or pull, and some of them do both, so it's extra confusing. So now that we have done that, we can work on the rest of the building, finally. So what are we going to do? We want to add another row of light grey to the inside of this light grey. So basically behind this white concrete pillar that we have here on the left, because we're extending from the left first of all, we're going to make the width of the building. I want you to place a row of light grey to go next to this one. Now on the ground is where we're going to do this. We're going to extend the light grey to the left by 4 using glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to place a light grey. 4 more glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Light grey. 4 more glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're not actually even going to place a light grey now, we're going to place 2 white concretes, 1, 2, like that, or would it be better to place them No, we're going to stick with the white concrete and then we're going to extend it one row forward. So we'll have something which should look like this. So now that we've got everything laid out here, I want you to take the white concretes that we have on the left side of the build and I want you to extend all of them upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's every single one of them. So you want to make another pillar, something that we have done a few times already. I want you to take the top front right hand corner of said pillar and extend it all the way over to the right. This will join rather naturally to the entrance, like this. Ta-da! What we then want to do is we want to raise up the light grey concrete until they sit directly behind the white concrete, like this. There we go. You can then even extend the light grey concrete like through and behind all of the white concrete, like so. And that's rather important because we want to extend all of the glass up as well, and this will give the glass something to grip onto. And once again, if we decide that we don't want the light grey concrete there later, we can change it. As you see, as we get to the roof and stuff, things do get a little bit complicated, and things do get a little bit more like you can choose what you want to have where, and you can choose some different styles. So you might find that you want to have something different from me, and it's okay if we don't have exactly what we want right now, because it's dead easy to change. So we want to have this so far. We've actually got quite a really nice template right now. What we're also going to do is we're going to add a row of light grey concrete that just sits above and inside of the row of white concrete that we have just placed. So from the bottom you can see it just kind of nicely slots inside. But inversely, we then want to have a row of white concrete that is above and outside of that. So we're using a very modern technique here to just fill above the top of our dealership here. I think that that looks pretty cool. So now that we've done that, I also want to include the sign, because there's going to be a large sign that says car dealer, as if it wasn't already obvious. And this sign actually starts, if we start here on, like from where we extended this white concrete block to the right, okay? So we extended it all the way to the right, this top right hand corner of the pillar. We just start right in the pillar here and we place a yellow concrete. And then we place 9 more going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So it stops right there. It's actually perfect, and that gives us enough room to run the car dealer. I want to add 3 more rows onto the sign, so 3 more rows onto the yellow. That's why I'm just filling here in with some yellow concrete. So 1, 2, 3. It actually wants to stick 1 row upwards above the actual building itself. And with the yellow concrete in there, it makes it just looks a little bit better, I think. And like I said, later on we'll be able to literally write car dealer inside that sign, but that's something that we'll do a little bit later. Now that we've kind of got the entire front, or most of the front figured out, I'll say that, we can work on the sides a bit. We're going to grab the white concrete, and we're going to take the back top left-hand corner now of this pillar. And we're going to place about 16 rows of white concrete extending backwards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There we go. And then all we have to do is join these last 2 blocks to the ground, specifically these last 2, like that. That is not looking too bad. And you can even extend those last 2 blocks inwards as well, because we're making pillars, aren't we, everywhere? So we're more than able to just kind of like turn those into pillars like this. You can even add the light grey concrete and the white concrete that we placed on the front. You can just simply extend that around. That's rather easy to do, I think, and it will give us a little bit of a better, there we go, give us a little bit of a better look. That's looking nice. And then all we have to do is make the windows. If you've ever noticed, a lot of car dealerships have loads of windows. I'm guessing it's because they want to sell their cars. They want people driving by to be able to peek into the windows and see the nice brand new cars that they don't have in front of the actual dealership. So we're making some more windows, and these windows extend between these two rows of white concrete, the inward corners. And we're just going to have this. We'll start from the front or the back, no matter, and we're going to place 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, light grey concrete, 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, light grey concrete, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 glass. So just like that. And what you can do is you can actually extend the light grey concrete upwards, and funnily enough you can see that the light grey concrete will just join to the inside there, and then we can have another row of light grey. And we might add some interior lights or something perhaps to these parts, but that'll be in part 2. We'll figure out all of the little fiddly bits, all of the little bits of detail in part 2. So we then want to add all of the glass. The glass is simply going to go where you would imagine, really. The glass is going to go on top of the rest of the glass, and it is going to just connect all the way up to the top. So here, so hard to place, and there we go, we did it, perfect. So that's what we've got so far. It actually looks rather impressive, doesn't it? Like from here, fade it out a little bit. It looks rather impressive from here. So now we've got to just start coming across the back a little bit. We've got a bit of the back of the build to make, and then we can connect it to the front, which is dead fun. Okay, so we're going to take this, again, kind of like the top, back, left, right hand corner of this thing here. We're going to take this block, and we're going to place 15 white concretes extending inwards.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now that 15th block is actually rather important. We're going to join it down to the ground. Okay, it serves a few purposes. We're going to join it down to the ground. We're also going to extend it forwards as well. I think that we only have to extend it forwards by 1 row, as a matter of fact, although that might be subject to change. So we're just going to extend it that far. And we're just going to add the windows inside here as well. So first we're going to do the windows. The windows are going to start in the corners here, the corner of this pillar, and they should just go and connect to the opposite side. That's why we might have to add some more white concrete. So from this corner we're going to do the same thing. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 glass. We're actually copying those windows on the front, and then light grey concrete. 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, light grey concrete, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, and it doesn't connect to anything, but that's okay because we can just add an extra row of white concrete in here. And actually, when it comes down to it, we're not doing this yet, obviously. This is a separating wall. This here will actually be kind of like a half wall between one half of the car dealership and the other half of the car dealership. So we'll be dealing with that a little bit later, but for now, boom, there we go, we'll just delete that. We just want to make sure it can grip onto something, and then, just in the same fashion that we've been kind of like working on already, like, we just want to extend all of the light grey concretes upwards. We want to join them behind the white like this. You can add, if you want, you can add the other row of white prematurely, and then you can add the other row of light grey and the other row of white, kind of like this. So we want to have the same sort of deal going all the way around, despite the fact that this can't grip onto anywhere yet. By the way, we will be, of course, sorting that out. Anyway, so what we now want to do, we want to place some glass inside of all of these parts. This is the most tricky part for me. I actually don't know what is more annoying to place than glass. I think probably nothing. I don't think so. This is where you could use fill commands. That'd be quite handy. As I've said a million times already, let's make it 1,000,001. I really wish that I could just like select the paint bucket, like Microsoft Paint, and just like fill the middle of something in. So we just want to have something which should look like that. And this is actually looking perfect. And this row of white is perfect here as well. Because maintaining our depth, we want to have this white concrete sticking out in front of this horizontal row. We're going to extend these white concretes here upwards, by the way. The only reason we're extending them upwards is so that we can kind of we want to be able to extend the top corners of the sign here backwards. We want to extend them backwards like this, and they want to join the back of the build, if that makes sense. And we want to just have a few rows of white, by the way. So, like, just to fill in any gaps, there is a false ceiling inside of the car dealership. So you're actually able to do a lot with the ceiling area and the roof area that you're not going to see anyway. So you can just connect like the front and the back kind of together like this. And whilst we are kind of like working on this point, I think it's actually not a bad idea to drop into the ceiling area here. So when it comes to the ceiling, the roof, they're one and the same actually. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect kind of like vertically, like front to back, light grey concrete rows, and we only need 2 of them. So you might be wondering, or maybe not actually, why did I add 2 vertical rows of light grey concrete specifically in those positions? It's because it's the split in the windows. The split in the windows on the front and the back of the build, I decided to add long ways, 3 equally, I think, equally large windows here. It's going to have like 3 massive skylights, and it's going to look quite good because it kind of like goes with the rest of the building. And if you just add those 2 rows to split the roof area up into 2, where the natural lines of the build are, then it will look really cool. I find that it's always best to go with the flow of a build rather than kind of like fight against it and have like a weird shaped roof or ceiling or walls instead. Like I said, it's much better to go with the split. I mean, I don't know if that makes the build a little bit less intricate, a little bit less interesting, but I don't know, the build certainly seems to look good to me, and I think it's because everything kind of like, there's almost like a math to it, like the roof goes there because the splits in the windows go there, and we've went long ways so that we've got like a less of a cluttered ceiling, so it looks a little bit more modern. I just think that looks a little bit better. But that's kind of like, that is where all of the cars are going to be. There's actually not too many cars on the inside, but again, that's going to be something that you're able to do yourself. But that's actually enough room for two different cars than you will have seen at the start of the video. So what we're going to do with this entire side here, right? So this is what is left. This is what we have left ourselves with. So we have to connect this together a little bit. We have to connect the right side here over to the left side and to the front. So we are going to grab ourselves the white concrete. We'll start off with the white concrete, and we want to make kind of like a pillar shape. So we want to take this vertical row of white here, and we want to add another row of white inside, and then we kind of want to just add a corner to it. So again, kind of just like a pillar shape, just that we've been doing all along. We want to take the inside corner of this pillar, and we want to place a light grey concrete. And we might even extend it upwards by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. And we're going to take the bottom and we're going to place 2 rows of glass extending across, 1, 2, and then a light grey concrete. And then we want to place, I believe there is 5 rows of glass, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then light concrete. 2 more rows of glass, 1, 2, and then light grey concrete. And then we're going to place 2 white concretes, so 1, 2. We're going to extend the white concretes forwards like this, and we're going to extend the white concretes upwards. You don't have to count this. This doesn't have to be counted. What you have to do is make sure that the white concretes are as high as the white concretes that you have on the right side. So you want to have 2 equal pillars like this. If you extend the original light grey concrete upwards here, you can actually extend it over to the left, and you can connect down, and you can join the other light grey concretes. If you extended the original light grey concrete upwards here, you can actually extend it over to the left, and you can connect down, and you can join the other light grey concretes up and down like this to give us some nice dividations. And then we can simply place some white stained glass paint inside of here. The only reason that I used white stained glass paint, by the way, instead of like regular glass, is regular glass just didn't seem to look right. Feel free to use any sort of colour that you would like this. We're going to add a row of white concrete above the light grey, and then we're going to extend the white concrete outwards like this. So we want to kind of like separate things a bit. We then want to join the top of the building together, like so. So we want to join both sides of the pillars together, just like this, to give us this sort of shape right here. Very modern looking shape. So now that we have this shape, which kind of reminds me of like a futuristic robot or a helmet or something, we want to place some light grey concrete behind this empty space here. So we're just going to completely fill it in like this. And again, you're more than welcome to like leave blocks like in the corners and stuff. You don't have to be that precise. So we want to have something which should look like this. Equally so, you could also use the back of this for advertising as well. So like you could like make the sign here, you could make it yellow or blue. I mean, that's also perfectly valid too, but I figured that I'd make the back different from the front, different from the back. And that's all we're going to be doing back here for now. Which brings us onto the side, the right side, the only part that hasn't really been quite sealed up. So what are we going to be doing here? First, we're going to be we're going to take this row of light grey concrete here on the left. We're going to be knocking off the white block on top. We're going to replace it with light grey. So in total, we've got a row of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 light greys. And we're going to extend the light grey all the way over to the right, and it will hit the corner of the pillar. We're going to extend it and join it down. We're going to add another row of light grey concrete underneath it. So like this, it wants to be directly underneath. In between these two light grey concretes, we want to place 4 rows of 4 windows. It will go 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4 glass, light grey, 1, 2, 3, 4 glass. You can then extend the light grey upwards like this, like so. That's looking pretty good. And then we can fill this in using some white stained glass paint like this. So these windows are actually going to look directly into the building as well. These are going to be where the car salesman would sit. Like, it's going to have some computers and stuff, and you can also join them as well if you're buying a car. Now that we have this, I think that we're going to add a row of white concrete directly above all of these windows like this. So we've only got like a little 1 separation. And then we're going to add another row of white concrete here down at the bottom. We're going to join the top together as well, like this. So we're slowly limiting the amount of space that we have. And what we now want to do is we want to have windows up here that correlate, that's a good word, that correlate with the windows that we have down below. So, where the windows are down below, make it so that there are windows above in the exact same places. And I think that that will just make the area look a little bit cooler. So again, it kind of goes back to that whole fact, like, I think that the building looks good because the windows are like, the windows all match up. There's like there's method to the madness, and I think that that looks pretty cool. So now that we've done that, we've actually done a huge amount of the outside. Most of the outside, as a matter of fact, about as much as we will be doing in this particular tutorial. The only thing that we do want to do is we want to put the top on this roof here. We're only going to be putting the top on it. That's all we're going to be doing. So first of all, I want you to grab your white concrete. You guys remember where we placed the windows, literally just moments ago. I want you to use rows of white concrete that split the roof into the same areas that we placed the windows. So if the glass was to, on the sides, literally like extend up and around, that is where we want the windows to be. But it's not quite that easy. Oh, by the way, you can horizontally fill in between where the windows wouldn't be using white concrete. So like there wouldn't be any here and there wouldn't be any here. We already have a few rows of white concrete. So we're just limiting the amount of space that we have to fill in. And on this left side here, don't ask me why, there is a reason, but I can't remember what that reason is. We want to have 3 rows in total of white concrete here on this left side that is like unexposed. So we want to add 2 more rows of white concrete here on this left side, just like this. There must be a reason for it, otherwise it wouldn't be this way, like that. And then that way we've just got these two filling in terms of windows. So I know that it isn't symmetrical. It does look a little bit weird, but there is probably an interior reason why I am doing this. I wouldn't just randomly design the roof this way. There's got to be a good reason for it, or maybe not. Sometimes I do just do things. So, but either way, you're not going to see the roof for the most part, so it doesn't really matter. And if you did want to add like a little flair to the roof, if you did want to make it a little bit more interesting, you could add, say, like a divot in the roof. And all that I would mean by a divot is kind of just kind of like a little gap like this, if you wanted to add a little bit of flair to it, and then you could fill like this in using white concrete or like light grey if you wanted to contrast. If you wanted to just make it look a little bit more interesting, and that does kind of look cool actually. And I'm wondering if we can do this to the front without it looking a little bit weird. Oh, we can actually see the blue a little bit more interesting. That does kind of look cool actually. And I'm wondering if we can do this to the front without it looking a little bit weird. Oh, we can actually see the blue, the light blue. Is there a way to do that? Oh no, we can't do that on the front actually. My bad. But that would actually be kind of cool. I mean, if you wanted to, you could just like straight up just put blue above here though, and then that way, as people saw, that's the problem. It looks goofy. Never mind. So just a little bit of experimentation there, ladies and gentlemen. I was just wondering if I could feasibly do that without altering anything. And see, there is a reason that things are the way they are. I must have already tried something like that. But that row though won't get in the way of anywhere, and it actually does look kind of sort of cool. So there we go. We've got the ceiling done. We've got most of the building done. What are we going to do next? The worst part. We're going to be doing the worst part next. The part that I really do dislike about most tutorials that I have to do. We have to make some signs and stuff. We're not going to be doing that just yet. We're going to be doing some fun stuff. No, we're not. We're going to do the sides, and then we can do this really cool part that I really like. I'm going to place yellow banners, not in the top left corner of my inventory, but to the right of it. And it doesn't really matter where the dies go. The dies can kind of go anywhere. I'm going to chuck all of these materials away, and I'm going to grab some loom. You don't have to use a loom to do this. You can use a crafting table. I would recommend getting a loom. So I'm going to chuck a loom down, I'm going to get rid of it, and I'm going to start using it. So we have to write car dealer cards, essentially. So we can reuse some of our banners. You won't be able to do this unless you're on creative mode, I don't think. So we're going to crack open the loom, and we're going to start with our first word, which is, like I said, it's going to be car. So brand new yellow banner right in there, and we're going to chuck some red dye into. So to make a C, that's our first letter, horizontal row of red at the bottom, horizontal row of red at the top, and a vertical row of red on the left side. Boom, C. Easy as that. See, I told you. Okay, A, vertical row of red on the left, vertical row of red on the right, horizontal row of red on the top, and a horizontal row of red through the middle. Easy as that. R is also quite easy. So, yellow banner in there, horizontal row of red at the top, vertical row of red on the left side, and a diagonal row of red, top left corner to bottom right corner. C-A-R, R. Now we have to make D for dealer. Now, this is actually kind of a weird banner, to be honest, so it's going to be a yellow banner in there, and we're going to basically vertical row of red on the left, vertical row of red on the right, horizontal row of red along the top, and a horizontal row of red on the bottom. That is almost D, but we're going to grab that, chuck that back in, get rid of the red dye, put the yellow dye in, and we're going to make kind of like the diamond shape. Or it's either the diamond or the circle, it doesn't really matter. We want it to look a little bit more distinguished than it would be. So maybe we'll go with the D, kind of like a diamond shape, D for diamond, and we'll grab that, and that's going to be our D, like that. We're going to chuck a yellow banner back in there. What have we got to? We've got to make an E now. So let's put the red back in there. Put the yellow back in the inventory. What are we going to do? How are we going to make the E? It's easy. We start with a horizontal row of red at the top, horizontal row of red at the bottom, just because it's closest. Horizontal row. vertical row of red up the left side, and that is E. Luckily, we can reuse A. It is D, E, A. And we want to, now we can make an L because we can reuse A. So L is going to be a vertical row of red on the left and a horizontal row of red along the bottom, so L. The next letter would be E, so we already have E, luckily. And then the next letter would be R. We already have it. There's only one letter that we need that we don't have, and that is actually S. So horizontal row of red at the bottom, horizontal row of red at the top, and a diagonal row of red, top left corner to bottom right corner. Boom. Now we have a word. Carol's. Carol's! That could be the name of our car dealership. It's Carol's. And basically, all we're going to do is we're going to start here. We're going to take the yellow parts of the building. We have the left, we have the right. We're going to take the middle part here. C-A-R. Gap. D-E-A-L-E-R. Car dealer. Easy as that. Inside this little space here, C-A-R-S. Cars. So, car dealer, and then we also have cars written as well. The red contrasts so nicely against the yellow. It adds another colour dimension to the build. It adds a little bit of brightness. It adds some interest as well because letters are kind of like grab your attention a little bit rather than just a flat surface. So that's why we have those, and I actually don't need these ever again, so you can go. Goodbye. Now, what I do want to make, which is kind of fun, is a 2D version of a car, kind of like sat in this sign here. So the 2D version of the car is made out of red wool, grey concrete, glass pane, red carpet, buttons, item frames, and of iron. It's actually most of the materials you would use to actually make an actual car as well. So the car is going to sit inside of this colour of this sign. It's going to start from the bottom left hand corner here and it's going to move right. We're going to place a red wall followed by a grey concrete, two red walls, grey concrete, red wall. We're going to stick buttons inside of the grey concretes. We're going to place glass pane on top of the two middle red walls. We're going to place red wool left of the glass, and we're going to place carpet above all three of those blocks. We're going to, I guess what you could also do, by the way, is you can place red carpet on top of the wheels and the bonnet area. In addition to that, we're going to give our car a little headlight and a block of iron as well for the headlight. So now we have, keeping with the red theme, you can make that car any colour, by the way, keeping with the red theme, we now have like a little 2D car, which I think really does add to the build. And I think that if you can't tell that this is a car dealership, despite the fact that there's no cars there, maybe you can't read, I don't know, or maybe you didn't notice the car, but that's looking pretty good. The last little thing that I want to do here, because it will set things up for the next part of the tutorial, I want you to grab some light grey concrete and some block of quartz. And this is going to be something that I actually do off of recording, but underneath all of the windows of the build, I'm going to... my bad. Underneath all of the windows, underneath the build, I am going to place light grey concrete. Feel free to change it. You could change it to a different colour entirely. That would, again, add another colour. I am thinking, okay, alright, am I crazy? Now, this might not work out very well because we use a lot of this in the build already. You could use like a grey concrete instead of light grey. I'm going to try it and see if I like it. In my original, I use light grey, but I'm going to try it and see if it looks any good. White would also look good. I'm already thinking that I'm not going to like this, but... Or blue? How would blue look? Would blue be too much? Alright, I'm going to try this out. Anyway, the point of this is I'm going to replace underneath all of the windows using... I'm going to try blue concrete, and I'm going to see if it looks stupid. And I'm also going to rip up all of the entire floor inside the build, all of this, and I'm going to replace it using some quartz. So, that's what I'm going to do, ladies and... Gentlemen, we're not going to be doing anything else with the inside. We will save that for part 2 when we start adding all of the customer area and the car showroom and the place where the employees would be. I think that we've done enough in this particular part, and we'll also work on the entire outside as well in the next part. So I'm going to replace underneath all the windows, I'm going to add all of the quartz in, and then I'll show you what this build looks like once it's been done. Where am I? Come back. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is what that car dealership should look like once we have 100% fully completed it.
I have finished a car dealership, but my car dealership has not finished just yet. I'm gonna make the interior and the outside. I'm gonna make the what do you call it? The outside, the inside of it. I'm gonna do that off recording. I'm gonna end the video here. I'm gonna do the inside, not in this video. I'm going to end the video. I'm not going to do a video once I've no. Sorry. Well, wait. What am I saying? I'm not going to basically, I'm not going to make this live stream a little bit too. I'm not going to make it too long, so I'm going to end the video here. I'm going to do the inside and outside off recording. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next episode of Let's Build a City. See you guys tomorrow.